Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. This video is to announce that I am starting a brand new channel. So this Ag Teacher Thought channel is going to still remain. It's going to focus mainly on plants, and I kind of understand that you as my viewers kind of like the plants in one part and the machine shop stuff in another. So I'm going to split the channel into two things. So Ag Teacher Thoughts is going to stay teaching related and plant related, and then I'm starting a new channel that's called Built from Scratch Machine Shop. So to kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking about on that channel, I got to give you a little bit of my history. So those of you that have watched the channel realize that I grew up in the nursery industry and spent over 40 years of my life working with and caring for plants in a nursery setting. But what some of you may not realize is there was a 10-year period there that in addition to doing nursery work, I also worked as a CNC machinist in a large dental equipment manufacturing company. And there in that company, I really developed my passion for manufacturing. And it was also there that really my heart was turned towards education and the trades. So it's not really fair that I completely set the trades off to the side or don't promote them now that I'm no longer working with my current or my former school. So I decided I'm going to start a second channel, and this one's going to be based on machining. Now, there's an interesting premise that I've developed for this other channel. So for Built from Scratch Machine Shop. So the premise of that is I am going to start with nothing but the tools in my garage. So I don't have any CNC equipment. I don't have any manual machining equipment. All I've got is kind of standard stuff and a few of my machine shop hand tools. So I've got like drill press, a bench tapper, a buffing wheel, and then everything else is pretty much hand machinery. So what we're going to do for this channel is we're going to start basically with nothing and see what it takes to build a full machine shop. Now, I don't have any funding for this. There's no angel investor. There's no sponsoring company. This is all going to be done through my direct sales of the products that I produce here in Built from Scratch Machine Shop. So what you don't see is around me is a typical American garage. It's chaos. So I'm going to slowly get this in order, and then we're going to start manufacturing some parts, and we're going to kind of start simple and small and see what we can make with just the stuff that we have on hand. And then as we sell those items, we'll turn around then and we'll reinvest those funds into new materials, new tooling, and new machines. So we're going to try to do this completely from scratch, and we'll see how it goes. Are we going to succeed or fail? I don't know. We'll find out together. But at least at this point, I want to take that journey. Now, one of the reasons that I'm really interested in taking the journey of starting my own manufacturing business is that politically, there has been a large push in the last few years to onshore a lot of our manufacturing jobs that were offshored over the last few decades. So when I was a child, there was a lot of manufacturing that went on. So I'm a child of the late 70s and 80s. And there was a lot of manufacturing that was still done here in America. As NAFTA went through and a lot of the push for cheaper products went through, a lot of that manufacturing got shipped overseas, and a lot of our industrial might as a country disappeared. Now, politically, that's been pushed to come back onshore the last few years, and we're looking at hundreds of thousands of products and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs that have to start somewhere here in America to be able to manufacture those items. Now, those jobs just don't come out of thin air. You know, someone has to host that employee, someone has to take that job on, and that's where I want to take my stab at it. So, you know, many years ago, many of you watched Gold Rush on the Discovery Channel, and that was a group of gentlemen that went out just to build the American dream, and they were out in search of gold. I kind of take that idea to heart, and I want to come out and start my American dream and give another good try at it. Now, this isn't my first time in manufacturing, and it's not my first time attempting to make products. That's something that I've done in years past for different hobbies and industries that I did. For quite a while, I was a metal artist. and I created fantastic metal art for the garden. Many years after that, I found the hobby Christmas light industry. So if you go to Ag Teacher Christmas and you see that Christmas, the animated Christmas, musical Christmas lighthouses, a lot of those displays used custom-made machinery or custom-made parts. And for a while, I was actually manufacturing those for a lot of people. So this isn't my first try in manufacturing. It's something that I've done before, but this is going to be my first attempt to really make it go as an actual business, and in the hopes that I can turn it into a brick and mortar facility somewhere outside of my garage, maybe in a local shop facility, and give it a good run to where I could build the business up enough where I could have employees of my own. My first employee you'll meet in a little while. That's most likely going to be one of my sons. One of them is currently at an internship at a massive manufacturing company a few hours south of here. And the other one is a student at our local community college specializing in CNC manufacturing. And he's the one that you're probably going to meet first. But without further ado, let's look at some of my experience and some of the products that I've made in the past that kind of shows you why I wanted to attempt this and kind of my background and knowledge therein. All right, what I've got here is a small sampling of some of the things that I've produced previously. So these are all parts and components for the Christmas light hobby. And these are some of my inventions. These were clips that I invented. You can kind of see the progression of that clip there. This is designed to hold a LED pixel, so an RGB LED pixel that would be used on all those Christmas trees that you see out there where they can make patterns and faces and make the tree itself sing. This was one of the first things to attach those pixels to pallet banding strap, which was kind of the first way that was attached to anything. And I created a Christmas light clip that would hold on to that pallet banding strap and allow those RGB pixels to be mounted on something. About 6 months after I created this, a new product was released that took a material like this banding strap and simply put a hole in it, and it made my pixel clip obsolete about 6 months after I created it. So it's not something I was able to sell more than, I think I sold 50,000 or 100,000 of them before they became obsolete. So I about broke even, and that was about it. There was other things that I made. I made these clamps to hold the pallet banding strap. And again, when that system changed, that was kind of done away with. I made some clamps to hold different types of RGB lighting. There was some special ones that had a heavier, thicker cord so they could be self-supporting. And this was designed to hook into a part of the top of the Christmas tree, and it bolted together. It was a whole stainless steel Christmas tree that I designed, and this is one of those key components of that. There was another pixel clip. This held those same lights onto a heavy-duty Christmas tree frame that I built. So those clip on there, and they would hold those same pixels on a CNC manufactured tree. And I had a whole tree that was designed to hold those RGB pixels and all the clips that went through them. This one, I didn't make a whole lot of these. I think I only had 3 or 4 customers that bought those trees from me. One of the people that did buy them, if you watch Great Christmas Light Fight, whether or not you know it, this part actually appears in the Great Christmas Light Fight. There's a gentleman that competed down in Boise, Idaho, and he had a couple of my trees in his front yard. So these have been featured on TV, although they never really talked about them. It was just one of the decorations there. And this was that component that I designed that was CNC machined. I also had special tops to my trees. This one would hook on a pipe. It would hold these D-rings, and then you could clamp them together. And it was an industrial way to hold these. You'd take another one of these parts and put it on top. Let me grab one of those. You put another one of those on there, you bolt it in, and it secured those straps that held your lights. So that was another one of the parts that I manufactured and created. When the pallet strapping came out, gentlemen were getting carpal tunnel from putting all of the pixels in. This is one of the first pixel pliers that was ever created. That was my invention. You would load your pixel down in here, and then you would use this to press them in. So they were called pixel pliers. This was another part of a large Christmas decoration. This allowed you to create like large snowflakes that would be able to be shipped in 2 halves, and then you would weld in the aluminum bar stock in here, and it allowed you to have a 5-foot snowflake that would break in half and ship it, so it would only be 3.5 by, or 2.5 by like 3.5 feet, rather than a 5-foot by 5-foot to ship them, and made the shipping cheaper. This is one of the ones that I actually manufactured. This was one of my originals. And then there was some other, this is water jet cut aluminum, and this I'm actually going to be building some other stuff off of. So there you go. There's a few things that I've created there to kind of give you an idea of a little bit of my manufacturing background. So there you go. There's a little bit of my work of being a designer and inventor when I was working as a CNC machinist. And that's really kind of the basis of what I'm going to do, is I'm going to come up with a product either through viewer suggestion or viewer orders. I'll probably do some simple stuff myself, things that I can make here with our current equipment. And then we'll build this machine shop up and see how big it can get, to see if that American dream is still there, if we're still capable of being able to do that, if I can still build something from scratch as far as a business and get it to the point where it can meet the American dream. So anyway, I hope that you will enjoy this process and you'll join me in that and adopt my second channel, Built from Scratch Machine Shop, and let's see how we can go with that and what we can turn it into. And hopefully we'll have some good content. That's what I'm really hoping for. And I'll do some more videos later on to talk a little bit more specifically about some of the parts that I've manufactured. And we'll see where we can take it. You know, what can we make? What can we build? What industry can we break into? And where we can go. And along the way, I'll see if we have others out there that have always wanted to start their own machine shop. So anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Ag Teacher Machinist, out.